Hello there. In today's class, I am talking about four figures of speech under our topic Know Your Literary Terms, Lesson 1. Alliteration, Assonance, Consonance, and Caesura. So, the first is what is alliteration? Most students ask the question, what's alliteration? How can we illustrate it? And what's its role in poetry? Let's see. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of an initial consonant sound at close intervals for a purpose. It's a repetition of consonant sound in a line of poetry, especially. It is also called head rhyme or initial rhyme because it is the first letter or set of letters that carry the sound. And here, examples are given. The first example here is from William Wordsworth's poem Lucy Gray. Let's read out. And sings a solitary song that whistles in the wind. In the first line, we can see sa in sings, sa in solitary, and sa in song. The sa sound is repeated thrice. Similarly, in the second line, that whistles in the wind. Two sounds are repeated here. The first is da in that and da in da. And whistles, wa in whistles and wa in wind. So, in these two lines, we have three examples of alliteration. Sa sound repeated, da sound repeated, and wa sound repeated. This is very beautiful example of alliteration by William Wordsworth, and this is in Lucy Gray. Second example here is from Walt Whitman's poem. Here is a line: "Give me the splendid silent sun." Again, "Give me the splendid silent sun." Sa sound repeated thrice. Sa in splendid, sa in silent, and sa in sun. So this is thrice repeated. This is another example of alliteration. Good example. And the third one is here. It's from a song sang by singer Baroness. Here is the repetition of wa sound. Wailing in the wintry wind. Wailing in the wintry wind. This wa sound repeated thrice. The first repetition here is from wa in wailing, wa in wintry, and wa in wind. So thrice repeated. This is the example, and I think you are clear with alliteration, and we'll be talking about other terms here. And there is another term we have here is, what is assonance? Assonance, and this is another term that is frequently asked along with alliteration, and students are confused, and we want to make it clear here. Please note it clearly. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds anywhere within a neighboring words of a poem. Alliteration, you learned, is the repetition of consonant sound, but here assonance is the repetition of vowel sound. And alliteration, it's the occurring of the sound at the beginning of the words in a line of poetry, but assonance, it is not necessary to be in the first or in the initial position, but it may be medial or final position of words in the line of poetry or any composition. In other words, there is the repetition of the same or similar vowels within words, phrases, or sentences. That the repetition of vowel sounds here in any form of language. This may occur in stress syllables. This may be termed a vowel harmony in poetry. This is a vowel harmony. Vowel harmony. Let's see the examples. His tender here might bear his memory. This is from William Shakespeare's sonnet number 1. His tender here might bear his memory. As diphthong, air, here, bear. Air diphthong is repeated twice in here and bear. So this is the example of assonance. And you see this sound, vowel sound air, diphthong, it's diphthong. It occurs in final position of the word. Here, bear. This is from William Shakespeare. And next example is from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Mad as a hatter. Here, air sound, air. Air sound is repeated thrice. In mad, as, and hatter. It comes in the medial position. The repetition of air sound in medial position in this line of composition, Alice in Wonderland, this is prose composition here, especially fiction. And the third one here is, she seems to beam rays of sunshine with her eyes of green. She seems to beam rays of sunshine with her eyes of green. Here, in this example, assonance occurs in the repeating vowel sounds of seems, beam, and green. This is E sound, seam, beam, and green. E sound, long E sound. And that's the repetition of E sound in this line. And this is all about assonance. So we are clear now. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sound in the initial position of the words in a line of poetry or any composition. Assonance is the repetition of vowel in any position of words, and both create musicality in poetry. And here is another term, that is consonance. What is consonance? It is often asked. Students are confused. What is assonance or consonance? They relate consonance with alliteration. So we should be clear. There is a really clear-cut demarcation line between consonance and alliteration. Consonance is the repetition of consonant sound anywhere within a neighboring words of a poem. We should be clear. Let me repeat it again. Consonance is the repetition of consonant sound anywhere within a neighboring words of a poem. So, it is not necessary, it is not mandatory, or it is not required to be in certain position of word, but it may occur at initial position or medial position or final position. But this is the repetition of consonant sound. Consonant sound is repeated and this repetition occurs. Let me read out the example from Robert Frost's very popular poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Whose words these are, I think I know. Whose words these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. His house is in the village though. You will not see me stopping here. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. So in this first stanza of Robert Frost's very popular poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, we can see the repetition, say, words, were in woods, and here no. His house is in the village though, no and though, in rhyme here. You will not see me stopping here, the why in words and why in will. To watch his words fill up with snow, why in watch and why in words. So here we see wa sound is repeated 4 times. Let's not talk about any position here. Wa in words, wa in will, wa in watch, wa in words. Words, words, will. Similarly, ow sound in now in the first line, ow sound in thou, and ow sound in snow. So here, repetition of vowel sound in rhyme and repetition of consonant sound, and it's a kind of creating musicality in the poetry. So another example, let me see. Are you asking me to come up with examples of consonants? I'll seek it out in lyrics and book. These words are identified here. Especially the sounds are boldened and underlined, and there are different spellings that are used to make certain sound, especially ka sound. There are many repetitions of ka sound in this line with various spellings. Ka in k in ask, ka in come spelling c but pronounce ka, ka in examples x but pronouncing ka, x, ka in consonants spelling c, ka in sick spelling k, ka in lyric spelling c, ka in book spelling ka. So there are many repetitions of ka sound in the line with various spellings. This is consonants. I think with these examples you are clear with this term. Again, there are more illustrations here regarding consonants. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. This is from Let It Be by the Beatles, very popular band, English, singers. When I find myself in the times of, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. This line has alliteration right at the end. Mother Mary, me. Mother Mary, me. But it also has a more subtle repetition of ma throughout the line. Myself times comes. Okay. From the above examples, it is clear that consonants can be alliterative or non-alliterative. Alliterative or non-alliterative, it doesn't have to appear at the beginning of the word or be spelled at the same, always the same. Remember that the spelling is irrelevant. What is relevant or what is crucial is the sound. After learning about alliteration, assonance, and consonance, it's time to talk about caesura. Caesura refers to a metrical break or pause in the middle of a line or verse. It is not in rhyme or initial rhyme. It doesn't occur at the end. or between the lines. It's a break. It's a break or pause in the middle of a line of verse. It's a break. It can be marked as you see in the slide, in the middle of the line, although generally it is not marked at all. It's simply part of the way the reader or singer pronounces the line. It may be expressed by a comma, or tick, or two lines, either slashed or upright. Two upright lines, mostly used in talking about or using Caesura. So let's see the example. Uh, from the first example is from Emily Dickinson's popular poem, "I'm Nobody." You are nobody, are you? No, you are somebody, are you? So you see, in the first line, there is a break. After you are nobody and before are you, there is a break. And this break is marked by two upright lines. And the second line, you see, no. After no and you are somebody, there is a break. No, you are somebody. There is a break. And two upright lines are again used. Are you? Again, before are you? This is a tag question, but before this tag question, and there is the use of two upright lines, and this breaking lines is called caesura here. And the second example from William Butler is the Lake Isle of Innisfree. Very popular line. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. Here you see before with low sounds by the shore, and after I hear lake water lapping, there is a break. This break in between the lines, here you see it's caesura. And the third example is here the headphone explodes, breaking the mold. The headphone explodes, breaking the mold, and this Caesura or caesura is used here, and there is a break, and this musical break or poetic break, let's say, line break. It's not, and this kind of caesura, the type of literary device or figures of speech, was used in Beowulf and most Old English literature. I think you got the points with these four terms. Today we discussed about alliteration, assonance, consonants, and caesura. I hope you'll be familiar with them, and we'll be talking about other terms in our upcoming videos. Thank you very much.